So what is Deno and why could learning Deno be a good idea? And why could Deno in general be helpful to us as a JavaScript backend developer? If we visit deno.com, the official Deno website, we learn that Deno is next generation JavaScript runtime, which is secure by default and natively support TypeScript and JSX. And it also have many inbuilt development tools. Okay, so that sounds like a good argument. We all want these features in our apps, right? So Deno is certainly helpful then. But wait a second. What exactly does this mean? Let's dive deeper and understand all these. We are going to divide this section into 4 parts to understand it better and in a structured way. A detailed introduction part where we will understand what is Deno and why should we learn this. Then we will look into some of advantages and disadvantages of Deno and the trade-offs to consider it for users. In the third part, we will look into the nuts and bolts of Deno and understand how to set it up and do the required configuration. And in final part, we will conclude which use cases are most suitable for Deno and when to look for other alternates. Let's start by looking at what is Deno. By now we have understood that Deno is a simple, modern and secure runtime for JavaScript and TypeScripts that uses V8 and is built in Rust. It is secure by default, which means no file, network or environment access unless explicitly enabled. It provides web platform functionalities and APIs such as using ES modules, web workers and fetch. It supports TypeScript out of the box. It ships only a single executable file. It has many built-in tooling including Deno test, Deno format, Deno bench and more. It includes a set of reviewed standard modules guaranteed to work with Deno, and it also supports NPM. Deno was announced at JSConf EU in 2018 by Ryan Dahl, the original inventor of Node.js. He created Deno to counter mistakes he made when he originally designed and released Node. You can check more about it in his talk 10 Things I Regret About Node.js. Deno is free and open source software with a growing community of around 90k developers and counting. Along with standard libraries, Deno have around 7k third-party modules. The conviction to security and web standards I believe will slowly evolve into Deno being the clear JavaScript runtime in the future. One of the main reasons to consider Deno for your project is its security-first approach. Deno's sandbox environment ensures that scripts only have access to the resources they explicitly request. This can help protect your applications from unintended side effects or security vulnerabilities resulting from unrestricted access to the file system, network, and environment variable. Let's look into some advantages and trade-offs of using Deno. Although we have gone through many of its advantages in earlier sections, but let's quickly brush through it for better understanding. Deno is built on V8, Rust, and Tokyo, hence comes with inherited performance, type safety, and concurrency. It enforces memory safety by ensuring that all references point to a valid memory without requiring the use of garbage collector or reference counting, which is present in other memory safe languages. It is secure by default by not providing file, network, or environment access unless explicitly enabled. TypeScript and JavaScript are first-class citizen for Deno. It comes with many built-in development tooling for formatting, linting, running tests, including a language server for your editors. It supports existing NPM modules by using either of npm specifier, node specifiers, package.json compatibility, or using CDNs. Let's look at some of the trade-offs of using Deno. Deno's ecosystem is still growing and evolving, so it may not have as many third-party libraries and modules available as Node.js. While Deno has gained popularity, it still lags behind Node.js in terms of community size and adoption. If you have existing Node.js code bases, migrating them to Deno can be a complex and time-consuming process, potentially requiring a complete rewrite of some parts of your application. If you are using containerization with Docker, you may encounter challenges when containerizing Deno applications due to its security model, which can make it more difficult to run applications in containers securely. It is important to note that Deno continues to evolve, and some of these drawbacks may become less significant over time as the technology matures and gains wider adoption. When considering whether to use Deno for a project, it's essential to weigh these drawbacks against its benefit and your specific project requirements. Let's start getting our hands dirty by doing the setup and configuration required for developing Deno projects, including the editor extension setups and configuration. Let's start the setup and configuration required to install Deno on machine. Deno supports macOS, Linux, and Windows. However, on Linux and Windows, only x64 architecture is supported. In Mac, both M1 and Intel x64 architecture are supported. There are many ways to install Deno on macOS and PowerShell. Along with the shell script and PowerShell script, there are many popular package managers like Homebrew, MacPorts, Chocolatey, and Scoop, which can be used to install Deno on the machine. Let's start with installing Deno on macOS. We will first try the shell script. However, the shell script might throw some error due to the recent TLS SSL changes. Let's look into it. We will install using the shell script, and this is the error which I was talking about. So it's better to install using package managers like Homebrew. Let's install Deno on Mac using Homebrew. Install Deno, and that should be quick. And that's it. The Deno has been installed on the Mac OS. Let's check if Deno is successfully installed. We get the Deno prompt. Let's log the hello world, and yes, let's install Deno on Windows machine as a next step. Let's install the Deno on Windows system, and this is the command to install the Deno on PowerShell, and the installation has begun. It's still downloading. It's quick, and now the Deno has been installed on the Windows. Let's check and confirm the installation. So we get the Deno prompt. Now let's log the hello world and confirm. Yes, That is it. See you in the next lecture. In this part, we will talk about the required environment setup for Deno related developments. Deno provides a CLI which contains a lot of tools that are commonly needed for developing applications. It includes a full language server to help power your IDE of choice. There is broad support for Deno in editors. Most editors integrate directly into Deno using Language Server Protocol or LSP. Here are two most popular IDEs and the available extensions and tools of it. VS Code has the official extension from Deno, which is called VS Code Deno, and we will look into installation of it next. When installed, it will connect to the language server built into Deno CLI. Most information can be found in the using Visual Studio Code section of the manual. Sublime Text also supports connecting to Deno language server via the LSP packages. You may also want to install the TypeScript package to get full syntax highlighting in Sublime Text. Let's install these extensions on the VS Code first. Let's install Deno's VS Code extension on Visual Studio Code. Make sure that you have the Deno CLI already installed on the system. Deno command line interface is nothing but the Deno installation depending on your machine. In one of our previous editions, we have already installed Deno on Mac. So let's go to extensions, search for VS Code Deno. Yes, this one is the one. Click install. And that is it. It's installed. To enable the Deno extension in Sublime, we need to install the language server protocol. To install language server protocol package, open the command palette by Command Shift P and then search install and click on install packages. Here you have to search for LSP for language server protocol package and then click on LSP. This should be installing and should be fairly quick. Once LSP package is installed, you will see this confirmation on Sublime. Additionally, you may want to install TypeScript package on Sublime for TypeScript support. For the installing TypeScript package, open the command palette by Command Shift P, type install, click on install packages and then TypeScript. Choose LSP TypeScript and that should get installing. Once that is done, your VS Code extensions are ready. Once you have the LSP packages installed, you will want to add configuration to your .sublime project configuration file. To get the required setting for your .sublime project's configuration file, you may refer to the Sublime text section of Setup Your Environment manual on the Deno's official website. You can copy these settings and tweak it according to your requirement. And that should be it. That is the complete setup and environment configuration you need to do for Deno project's development. Another good feature of Deno CLI is shell completions. Currently there are 3 shells supported: Bash shell, PowerShell and GSH. We can install shell completions on any of these shells. We are going to install shell completions on GSH. To install shell completions on GSH, we need to make a directory, and then using the Deno CLI command, we are going to create completion under that directory. Once the completions are done, we can source it to GSHRC, and then we can use it every time when you use REPL. To install shell completions on GSH, let's make a directory. Once this directory is created, let's create the shell completions using the Deno CLI. This is the command for creating shell completions. This is the command to create shell completion for GSH. In this command, we are basically using the Deno CLI and creating the completion under GSH directory with the name of _Deno. Now this is created. As the next step, we should source this GSH completion to the GSH RC. To source the created shell completion into the GSH RC, let's open the GSH RC. And we should enter in the last of this file this command. So this is how we source the shell completion into GSHRC. The detail about this particular command can be found in the setup and configuration manual of Deno website under GSH example section. Once this is done, we should save this file and we should reload the terminal. Once Deno shell completions are sourced into GSHRC, we should have the autocomplete for all our Deno commands. For example, Deno compile and completion. If I take compile, it will complete that, and Deno completion, it will complete that. So once we have our shell completion sourced to GSHRC, we should have the autocomplete feature enabled on our terminal for all our Deno commands. For example, if I do Deno shell complete, it should automatically complete the command. So this is the autocomplete or shell completion feature of Deno CLI. Deno has inbuilt support for multiple environment variables. These environment variables can be exported directly from the terminal or could be used inside .env file for the applications. Some of the important ones are listed as follows, and we are going to use these as and when required in the further lectures. Technology is a rapidly changing field where improvements happen frequently. Staying up to date with new technology is essential. Change can be challenging but is constant. When Node.js was introduced, there was skepticism in the community, but now it's synonymous with backend development. Early adopters of new technology often have an advantage. The same applies to Deno. Having extensive experience will benefit your career growth. Therefore, it's crucial to explore, learn, and become proficient in Deno while it's still relatively new and not widely adopted. Now let's examine some practical facts about using Deno in real-life projects. When it comes to choosing between Node and Deno, there isn't a clear winner. Both systems have their advantages and disadvantages. Node is much more mature framework that developers have used successfully since 2009. But with that maturity comes security issues that may compromise sensitive applications. Deno is newer framework created specifically to fix some issues that developed in Node. Deno has an easier import system and uses TypeScript by default, with no extra effort on your part. But it also may not have the battle-tested stability of Node. Additionally, if you rely on the Node standard libraries, you may be left wanting more from the Deno standard library. Node could be a better choice than Deno if you are not interested in using TypeScript or the TypeScript ecosystem. If your code bases require specific Node libraries or packages only available on NPM. If most of your work involves legacy Node projects. Deno could be a better choice over Node if your projects are mostly greenfield, where you have flexibility to choose your tooling. If you have a legacy project that can benefit from TypeScript features, or if you prefer the flexibility of Deno's package management over Node. Finally, both Node and Deno have a lot to offer your projects. As the contrast in the course lecture shows, there are times when one framework is clearly superior than the other. When making your choice, keep your individual use cases and needs of your organization in mind. I hope you found the lectures in this course enjoyable. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. Your support keeps us motivated to create more high quality content on technology and development topics. I acknowledge that we have only scratched the surface of Deno related developments. We plan to provide more in-depth hands-on development content related to Deno runtime. Feel free to comment and let us know what specific aspects of Deno runtime you would like to learn more about next. Your inputs are valuable to us.